In my last video, I mentioned that I grew up in Czechia. And no, it's not Czechoslovakia, and it definitely isn't Chechnya. I don't know why, but I've heard some people genuinely think that Czechoslovakia still exists, or they confuse Czechia with Chechnya, or they even call us Russians, or even Germans. Imagine giving up so badly you need to call us Germans or Russians. That's really impressive. Well, anyway, today I'm going to tell you my story how I grew up in this beautiful country called Czechia. Czechia has many cities. The most well-known one and the most main one is of course Prague, which is also the capital city of Czechia. Haha! You must have grown up in Prague, right? You grew up in Prague, right? Well, let me tell you, Czechia isn't just Prague. And no, sadly, I wasn't born in Prague. So Czechia has many cities, and I'll name some of them. Prague, capital city, political, cultural and economic center. Brno, main city of Moravia, there is a big university. Ostrava is an industrial city in the east. Plzeň is basically famous for its beer. Liberec, known for its very weird TV tower. Olomouc is a historic city with a major university. České Budějovice is famous for another beer. Hradec Králové, important regional and architectural center. Ústí nad Labem, industrial city on the Elbe River. Pardubice, known for gingerbread and engineering. These are some of the biggest and most important cities. However, the one we'll talk about today is Ostrava. Why? Because that's the city I grew up in. Everyone goes to Prague, most people know Prague, that's where tourists are. However, people don't really know much about the other cities or the rural areas of Czechia. Czechia is split into three historical lands: Bohemia, Moravia, and Silesia. Silesia? I think it's Silesia. I grew up in Ostrava in a really big house. Czechia was still recovering from, first of all, Czechoslovakia breaking up, second of all, an old regime called communism. But Czechia wasn't as bad as some other post-communist countries. We were actually pretty far ahead. Czechia is a beautiful, rich country with a lot of history and culturally distinct regions, which we'll get into in a sec. My life was pretty good, even though I was born in the second poorest region in the country and in a city full of factories and industrial shit. So you can imagine the air quality in Ostrava during winter. Yeah, not fun. Ostrava used to have a lot of coal mines, especially during communism. Nowadays these mines are slowly closing because the coal is just too deep and it's really hard to get. Contact lenses were invented by Czechs. Škoda cars are Czech and other cool stuff too. Another funny thing is the Czech language. It's genuinely considered one of the hardest languages in the world. Even though Czech is officially considered one language, there is something called Standard Czech. This is used in schools, books, news, official documents and formal speech, and it's the same across the whole country. However, there are regional dialects that used to be so strong that sometimes Czechs couldn't understand each other. Nowadays, that's mostly gone and everyone understands each other. But my aunt once told me that when her grandma was alive, sometimes all it took was going from your village to another village that's like 1 kilometer apart, and suddenly everyone was speaking complete gibberish, which is kind of funny. Imagine you walk to another village and you're like, damn, did I cross a border or something? These regional dialects are split into multiple groups, by the way. Bohemian dialects, basically modern standard Czech, often called common Czech, widely spoken in Prague and western areas. Then there are Moravian and Silesian dialects. Moravian dialects are more traditional and very diverse. Examples include Hana. Silesian dialects, some of them very similar to Polish. Not all of them though. Even with all this, Czechs understand each other. Now let's talk about ethnocultural regions. In Bohemia, Chocko, Polabí, Podkrkonoší, Pošumaví. In Moravia, it's Hana, Vlašsko, Slovácko, Horácko, Lašsko, Podluží, Záhoří. In Czech Silesia, it's mostly Těšínsko, Opavsko, Hlučínsko. There are many more, but these are the most common ones. Funny story. One time, my whole family and I were on a trip to Lípno nad Vltavou in southern Bohemia. We walk into a random shop, start talking, and the shopkeeper suddenly goes like, "Are you guys from Ostrava? Like, how did you even know that?" Me and my cousin were also making fun of their dialects, and they were making fun of ours. Czech bonding, am I right? When I used to go to school, elementary school, it starts at age 6 and lasts 9 years. It has 2 stages. First stage is one main teacher. The classes are very basic: Czech, math, basic science, art, music, PE. Then there's second stage, which are basically from 6th grade to 9th grade. Different teachers, more advanced subjects, history, geography, biology, physics, chemistry, foreign languages, you know it. After 9th grade, students choose either gymnasium, which is something like academic high school, technical vocational school, which usually ends with something called maturita and lasts 4 years. Apprenticeship is basically I wanna work with my hands, and that mostly lasts like 2 or 3 years. Public schools are free, healthcare is free. Oh yeah, Czech school cafeterias. Some are fine, some are absolutely horrible. Let me tell you, it's not like in America. Trust me. It's not. Well, anyway, some schools genuinely cook well, and in others, I swear, it's just like microwaved food. Like, I'm not even joking. When my mom wanted to like sign me up, I was like, Mom, no, I don't want to be poisoned, I don't want to go. So she cooked lunch at home instead, which was much better. Sometimes when kids hated the food, they would just start food wars, throwing meat or frozen bread at each other. Yes, this, by the way, happened often. Czech cafeterias are not like American ones, as I said. You don't choose food. Food chooses you. You eat what's prepared. If you don't want it, fuck off. Hey kid, do you want mashed potatoes with goat's dick on the plate? I texted my cousin about school cafeterias. He replied with one word, hell. So that sums it up. Czechia is a landlocked country between Germany, Austria, Slovakia and Poland. Some Czechs go to Poland for cheaper alcohol and groceries because prices are often lower. Rural Czechia is insanely beautiful, especially in spring and summer, not just Prague, okay? There's more to Czechia than just Prague. Czechia has one of the highest densities of castles in the world, about 2,500 castles for such a small country. That's pretty insane. Czech food, řízek, which is basically fried chicken, or it can also be fried pork. Fried cheese, yes, we have fried cheese. Vepřok knedlo zelo, svíčková, goulash, and roasted duck, which is basically heavy food. Desserts, though, elite. I love Czech desserts. My childhood was awesome. Xbox, computers, running around outside. Czechs are quiet and straightforward. Not rude. If they don't like you, you'll feel it. But once you know us, we're warm and funny and charismatic, I guess. I really like Czechia. Sometimes when I look at other countries, I think I'm very lucky I was born here. Even though all it takes is to open my mouth in Prague and everyone immediately knows that I'm from Ostrava. So yeah, I guess me and my whole family has a yeehaw ass accent. Yippee! Well, Czechia is a very cool country. It's very fun, it's very amazing, and yeah, I think maybe if you can, you should visit. I don't know. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again very soon in another animation. So yeah, bye I guess, and come to Czechia.